Hey guys, how's it going? This is Jason from V-Neck Vaping, and today I'm going to do a little review on two brands of resistance wire that I've been using for the past few weeks. And I want to give you my take. I'm going to give you a demonstration on what these wires can do, or at least what I can do with them. And first of all, I want to say the two brands I'm going to be comparing will be the Hotwires by Chadster and then the G wires. I'm not sure who makes the G wires for sure, but this is the G wire bag. This is the Plat 26, the 26 gauge wires, and I have here a couple bags from the Hotwires brand, the Beast Mode 26 gauge, as well as the 24 gauge Boom. I have the 24 gauge G wires as well. I just don't have a bag for it because it was a sample set of wires I got from my friend Kai over at Vape Aura. For this test, I'll be having access to identical mods, two Qiyus with two IGO-W 3s, and two Nemesis mods with IGO-Ws. And for the juice I'll be using 0 milligram based lemon cheesecake from my friends over at Zen Vapor Room. This is a 50-50 blend. It's my absolute favorite juice for the past year. Got this in a 250 ml bottle. Again, lemon cheesecake, the original, no knockoff. This is the one that has been booming all over San Diego. And then I also be using the Sony VTC4 batteries on each of the mods. Okay, so first off, I want to go and again say I am not affiliated by Hotwires or G wires. I bought these wires from my local vape shops. I bought the Hotwires from the Switch SD, and I got the G wires from Mix Vapes. They're available at other places, but again, these are the places I purchased these particular wires. The 24 gauge I did get as a free donation from Kai. And with that said, let's get on with the review and the comparison. Both sets of wires come with about 15 feet of resistance wire, and the Beast Mode wires themselves come with 15 feet of silica, while the 26 gauge G wires, the Plat 26, come with 3 spools of cotton. The Hotwires Beast Mode, the Hotwires Boom come with 3 cotton. I've used some from both already, so. But just to let you know, they both come with, at least with the 24 gauge on both the G wires and the Hotwires, they come with 3 big offerings of organic cotton, and the only one that comes with silica is the Hotwires Beast Mode, just because they've been out a little longer. But here in Southern California, we've been moving to cotton, so now they've been pushing the cotton in these packages as well. Okay, so I'll start with the 26 gauge here. I've used, again, these wires for the past 2 weeks now, so I've had experience building them, re-wicking them, rejuicing them. I have here 2 fully charged Sony VTC4 batteries. On the brass Qiyu, I have the Hotwires Beast Mode 26 gauge, and on the stainless steel Qiyu, I have the G wires Plat 26, the 26 gauge as well. On both builds, I did microcoil, 6-7 wrap vertical microcoils, quad build, on a quad coil build with cotton on there. And try to get the build as evenly and equal as possible. Again, 6-7 wrap on both builds, vertical microcoils with cotton on here. Okay, so let's get these juiced up again with my what I like to call flavor of the year. I think it's pretty sad when I have to tilt my bottle. You can tell how much I've been using this lemon cheesecake. This is not my first bottle either. This is like my 3rd bottle in this size. So I'm going to start off with the G wires on my Qiyu with the build here. I'll get that set. Let that sit here. Soak up the goodness of that as the lemon cheesecake. Okay. Get that going here. Before I start this as well, I want to say you cannot go wrong with either set of wires. Okay, I've been very, very, very happy with both sets of wires. It's just a matter of at that point what kind of preference you want. I vapor for flavor. I do 0 milligrams. Clouds are cool. I do some clouds when I can. I'm not an expert cloud chaser like other people are, but I'm very happy with both. So again, you cannot go wrong with both, but I want to get into a little more about what I like overall at the end. So let's do the G wires here. You saw I just juiced that up. All batteries are fully charged. Okay. Don't worry, it's just a little oversaturated, but it's popping. I'll be using the 4 oval long holes on the IGO-W, 3. Again, this is a 5-post atomizer, which is pretty great for, I've done octa coils, but for this I'll be doing quad coils. Alright, so here's the G wires. Barely warm, which is what I love. I don't like hot vapes. This is barely a warm vape, which is awesome. So again, that's the G wires. I have here on the brass the Hotwires Beast Mode 26 gauge. Again, using the oval holes here. Brass GU, Hotwires Beast Mode 26 gauge. Both great wires, both great flavor. Love it. I love it. Okay, so those were comparison between the Plat 26 and the Beast Mode, both 26 gauge, 6-7 wrap quad microcoil. We're going to move on to the 24 gauge versions of the wires. So I have for the 24 gauge, I have the Hotwires Boom by Chadster, and I have, again, I don't have the bag, but I'll be doing the Hotwires, I'll be doing the G wires 24 gauge Plat 24. I have here 2 Nemesis mods with some IGO-W Vape Atomizers. I had this one torched by my friend JC over at the Switch SD. So this one will have the Hotwires Boom, and the brushed stainless steel Nemesis will have the G wires 24, the Plat 24. So let me just juice these up. Again, 6-7 wrap dual microcoil center post build. Okay, get this on. Fully charged VTC, Sony VTC 4 batteries. Ooh, it's popping. Okay. 24 gauge G wires. Awesome, awesome, awesome flavor, awesome vapor production. Let's see here. Now I am going to do the 24 gauge Hotwires. Same build. Again, fully charged Sony VTC 4 batteries. That's popping as well. Oh, and the air holes on both the IGO-Ws are at 3/30 seconds as well. God, I love that lemon cheesecake. Again, both decently cool vapes. Um, Barely feel the warmth on both the Addies there. I know I just felt this one right afterwards, but you know, I've been doing this already, so I've already had my comparison, but I wanted to share these with you. So both produce decent clouds, both produce decent flavor. I try to do the builds as close as possible on each one. If I messed up on something there, just I forgive me. I just wanted to do identical builds. I don't know if I should have just changed the wraps from one to the other to get, you know, equal ohms. Oh, by the way, I was trying to get these at actually I did get these at 0.20 ohms, as well as 0.16 ohms on the two different builds between the quad and the dual. So overall, I am very, very satisfied with both wires. At least for San Diego, these wires are readily available. You know, the hot wires have been around a little bit longer. The Boom are the most recent iteration on the 24 gauge. The Beast Mode and also the 28 gauge RDA has been out for a little bit. The G wires, at least for myself, I've seen come out very, very recently. Again, I don't know who makes it. I can at least say hot wires are made by Chadster, Chadwick Astronomo. The G wires, Plat 26 and Plat 24 wires. I'm not sure who makes it, but again, readily available here in San Diego. I love both. If I had to make a personal choice, though, just on the overall build experience with the coils, as well as flavor and vape production, again, this is my personal opinion. I'm not getting paid for this by any one of these guys. I'm gonna have to go with the hot wires. Reason being, and I'll tell you why. Again, both great wires, but I want to tell you why I'm going hot wires. And it came down actually to the 24 gauge comparison. The 26 gauges were, for me at least, almost identical. Almost. I think the hot wires had an overall better vapor production, but the flavor is still there on both. With the Boom wires, I think the 24 gauge I think had the edge. Excuse me. But you know, that could just be my vape technique. I'm not a master competition cloud, you know, cloud person. I do like some clouds, but as well as flavor. So what it comes down to is that the 24 gauge G wires are stiffer compared to the 24 gauge Boom, compared to 24 gauge Nichrome 60, compared to 24 gauge Canthal. It's not impossible to build. It's just I got used to, you know, even though thicker wires are still a little more stiffer than the 26, 28 gauge, 30 gauge, whatever. The 24 gauge G wires were a little stiffer. So, and again, I was microcoiling. So when I was wrapping around my 3/30 seconds drill bit, it was a little harder, not impossible. I'm just saying, it just when you're comparing these, a little harder to get the coils just right. It took a few tries, even with torching. I prefer to torch my wires before I mount them, just because I want to heat treat them and get the coils working. But so that's what it's coming down to. And one last thing, with the G wires, I've been testing these G wires out for a few weeks now. I don't know if it's just the juice I'm using, or if it's just the build I did. I did notice a little rust on the G wires after a while. I pulled the cotton out, you know, re-dry burn them just to get the gunk out. But I did notice a little rust building up, which leads me to believe there is some iron in those wires. I don't know what either one of these wires are made of. I'm not even going to try to figure it out, because that's their guys, that's their market. You know, again, I'm just a vapor, just like you guys. But leads me to believe there's some iron in the G wires, which could lead to some alcohol or whatever. How I can't even say alcohol, but I'm not saying that's what it's made of. But that's just my guess, just from the rust. Again, that could just be my build and how I did, or the juice I did, but I did notice that. So again, I did the dual coils with the IGO-Ws on both Nemesis mods. Did the quad coil microcoils on the Qiyus with the IGO-W 3s. Both great wires. You cannot go wrong with either set of wires, okay? My personal preference was just the hot wires, just at least from my experience. I urge you to go and compare the wires, do equal builds on equal mods. and see what you come up with, and then I like to know what you come up with as well. So again, this is Jason from V-neck Vaping. I thank you for your time. I want to thank my friends again at Zen Vapor Room for the lemon cheesecake, for providing it for us. Again, this is awesome. This is what I call flavor of the year. This is what I call the original lemon cheesecake. No knockoff. This is just, it's my favorite. I call no knockoff because to me this was the first lemon cheesecake I ever tried. So my favorite lemon cheesecake by far. I want to thank the Switch SD. I want to thank Vape Aura. I want to thank Mix Vapes for providing the wires. And I also want to thank 101 Vape, the online store, for allowing access to purchase these the atomizers and mods. I also want to thank Orbit Vape for one of the addies as well. I bought one of the addies online, and I bought the other one locally. So again, so the Switch SD, Orbit Vape, Mix Vapes, Vape Aura, and Zen Vape Room. I want to thank everyone there. And again, my personal preference is the Hotwires. You can just judge by my vape which ones you may think might be better. But again, I try to do as much as I could to get the builds equal and identical, which is why I spent the money and got the identical mods and atomizers. And so yeah, that's my take on these. I hope you can pick up these wires wherever you're at. Again, can't go wrong with either one. My personal preference is my personal preference, but they're both great wires. So with that, I want to say thank you very much for your time and have a great day.